Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Julianne and I make videos all about all things health, all things fitness. So if you're interested in that, then please consider subscribing to my channel and let's get into this. So in today's video, I want to talk about 10 short-term and long-term fitness goals that I have made for myself, as well as why specific fitness goals are so important for one's health and fitness journey. So to start, let's talk about why specific fitness goals are so important. An example would be if my goal was to do a push-up, or if my goal was to lose weight. If my goal is to do a push-up, then I know where that ends. I know exactly when I have reached that goal. When I can do a push-up, then I've reached that goal. But losing weight, just making a vague goal like that, you don't really know when it ends. And because it could be never ending, this goal, then you're never actually achieving anything, so you're not getting any positive feedback. Rather than when you make short-term specific goals, then you're just entering a circular formula of positive feedback, which is then encouraging you so much more to go forward and set new goals, higher standards, reaching those goals, and it's just a loop. So now with my personal goals that I have set for myself, I have 10 of them. Some of them are short-term goals and some of them are more long-term goals, which I can't really say how long it's going to take me to achieve these, but if I actually work for it, I could probably do it. It depends on how well I'm motivated on them. So my first short-term goal is to run 5 kilometers. And I think I could probably do this within a year or so. And I know 5 kilometers for some people isn't that much, but for other people, it's a lot. And for me, I'm one of the other people where it's a lot. Last year, I started a running journey where I really wanted to run like 10 kilometers. And in a few months of me running consistently and following these training plans, I could hardly run 3 kilometers. Even that was a lot. So I would really like to run 5K. I could probably get to that if I really pushed myself. But I also want to do it in a healthy and sustainable way, so first running a shorter distance and slower and just working my way up. A long-term goal that I have is to run a half marathon. Now this might seem really strange for somebody who doesn't really like running, but I don't know, I just think of running as the ultimate test of endurance. And I'm just so attracted to saying, oh yeah, I've ran a half marathon before, or I've ran a marathon. I don't think I'll get to a marathon, let's be real. But long term, I think it would be really cool just to try one. And I would not do it at all competitively or anything. I would probably be walking a part of it at least. It's just a fun goal that I have for myself, and if I get there or not, it's not a big deal, but I have a lot of other goals, so if I don't get this one, then I have others. Another one is swimming, and a short-term goal I have for that is to swim 1 kilometer. I can swim fine, I can waddle around in the water, and I'm pretty steady with that, but I can't do proper swimming style. And the past years, before COVID, of course, my husband was trying to teach me how to properly swim. I don't even know what it's called, like a front crawl or something. And it's so challenging. And I just get so exhausted from it. So something I would really love to be able to do is to swim 1 kilometer. I don't know how long that's going to take me. It is more of a short-term goal, but I think if I stick to it, then it should be okay. What I've learned from some research about people learning how to swim and getting better at their swimming endurance is that they say first you just have to learn how to do it properly, and then your endurance can build up quite quickly. So that's a short-term goal I have for myself. So another goal I have for myself is to be able to bike 50 kilometers. And this depends so much on where you're living and what your landscape is in your area. And to put this into perspective, I'm living in Germany now. It's very hilly, bike paths are quite up and down. But where I grew up was southern Alberta. It was the flattest place I've ever been in my entire life. To give some perspective, if you were driving down the highway, it was so flat and so straight, you could see the highway that you were driving on, both on the horizon in front of you and on the horizon behind you. It was just so flat. So of course, biking there is going to be a lot easier because you don't have to put so much effort into going up hills and stuff. Whereas in Germany, that's a bit different. If I'm going for a short bike ride in Germany, it is much more exhausting. So I'm setting myself a goal for 50 kilometers, but I'm not going to say I have to do this in Germany with hills. I'm going to make it easy for myself and say, okay, if I want to, maybe I'll do that this summer when I'm in Canada and it's a lot more flat and easier. So the next goal I have for myself is a short-term goal. I would like to be able to do one complete and solid pull-up. If you didn't see my video a few weeks ago, I was testing my strength because I just started doing some more strength training in my workouts, and I swear before I was able to do a pull-up, and when I tried it in that video, I couldn't get it. I couldn't do it. So that's a short-term goal I have because I think with just a little bit of training, I'll be able to get there. Now, a long-term goal that I have for that is to do 10 pull-ups consecutively and have each one of them being like true solid pull-ups. So I think that pull-ups are just a really good test of strength, but also I think they're just really fun. Like, remember when we were kids, we were just playing on the monkey bars and stuff? That's what it kind of reminds me of, and I just enjoy that, you know? So that's a goal I have. The next goal that I have is handstands. So my goal is to be able to do a handstand without assistance for 10 seconds. I don't know if this will be a short-term or a long-term goal. I'm expecting this is going to take at least a year to do, because here's the thing. I'm not very consistent with training for this type of thing. So what I do know about handstands is that they do take a lot of commitment with time and effort and also strength. Handstands require a lot of core body strength, a lot of upper body strength, and that's something that I'm working on. So I think when I have the upper body strength, then I'll be able to do a handstand a little bit more easier. But another thing for handstands that is specific for me is the fear factor of doing a handstand. Every time I practice and I kind of kick myself up, I'm always quite afraid. I think that's fair to be afraid of falling when you're upside down. I think the biggest achievement for me to be able to do a handstand is to say I got over this fear of being upside down. My next goal is probably gonna be bordering short-term and long-term, depending on how diligent I am. My next goal is the splits, and my goal is the splits as a marker, as okay, I've done this goal, but overall just flexibility. And splits is a great test of flexibility because you have to stretch a lot to be able to do the splits. And so I think just the process of actually getting to that point is going to be just as rewarding as actually getting to that point. So number 9, the second last goal that I have for myself is to do a backflip. Now let's examine that for a little bit. I am not talking about just like standing on the floor and doing a backflip and then landing it perfectly. No, I'm not that confident in myself. What I mean by I want to be able to do a backflip is, I mean doing a backflip into a pool or into like a foam pit or something that's more safe for me. The biggest thing with doing a backflip is, again, the fear factor. Because when I go to those trampoline parks or something, and like my husband will just for fun do a backflip or something into this foam pit, and it doesn't really matter how your form is or if you can land it on the ground or anything, it's just fun, and they don't have the fear of putting yourself upside down again, kind of like the handstand. And so that's what it is for me. It's for getting over that fear. So my 10th goal is to learn how to lead climb. And lead climbing is when you're rock climbing, and how do I explain this? I've never done it, obviously, but I know about it and I've seen a lot of people do it. How can I explain this? There's different forms of climbing. There's bouldering, and this is where you don't have any like ropes or special equipment. You just have your climbing shoes and like chalk or something. But the thing with this is that you're only climbing to a really short height, and so if you're falling, you're not injuring yourself or anything. So the next type of climbing is top rope climbing, and that's when the rope is at the top and it's above the climber. So the person at the bottom, the belayer, keeps the rope quite taut. So if you fall off the wall, you're not really falling much. And so now we come to lead climbing. This is the one where there's the belayer at the bottom, and then there's the climber, but the rope isn't connected through the ceiling. You are the top part of the rope. And so this is where you usually see people who have the rope, and the climbers have to clip themselves into the wall. And this is the point at which they are going to be falling from, kind of. So the thing is that when you are lead climbing and you do fall, you will usually be falling a longer distance, and it's way more scary. It is so much more scary. So that's why I've been avoiding it. So in Canada, I was doing a lot of rock climbing, and I really only stuck to bouldering and top rope climbing because I was way too afraid to do lead climbing, because I would see other people do it and then they would be falling and screaming because it's so scary. But that's a fear I really want to face, and long term I want to be able to go and do that because I want to get over that fear of falling. But it also works great because if my goal is to do lead climbing, then I'm also getting better at rock climbing in general. The thing is that it causes so many other benefits, and that's what I like about all of the goals that I've chosen, and like pretty much any specific fitness goal that you choose for yourselves, is that you're going to get your goal, which is awesome, and you're going to get that positive feedback, but at the same time you are going to be improving your physical health so much. So I'm really curious to see what your fitness goals are for the next year, for the next 5 years, and maybe even for the next 10 years, who knows. And I would love if you could leave those down in the comments and, you know, make a community we can share our goals and our dreams, and that would be so fun. And be sure to like this video, and if you're interested in any of this, then please subscribe to my channel, follow my health and fitness journey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!